Now we're going to move up to the head and combine all those meshes together. And so we'll start right now with the hair. And so we're going to hold down the Alt and just select the hair. And so we're going to actually just zoom up so I can see this a little better. And then I'm going to actually just turn on the polyframe so I can see. And then I'm going to do the same thing that we did last time, and just do like two different subdivisions. And so with that, we've subdivided twice, which we're now in subdiv 3, and I'm going to delete the lower. And then so that gives us a little bit cleaner looking mesh. And then from here we'll go to our move tool and hit the gear and say remesh by union. And so with that we'll get that nice clean joint. The mesh will be joined as one. And so from here we'll just say accept. And so now we just have this clean looking mesh. And so from here I'm actually going to keep these seams just a little bit, just kind of as a part line. And so I'll go back to the draw mode and go to my fill brush. And then I'm going to just scale my brush down a little bit and then just kind of smooth this area out a little bit. And also smooth here. And just smooth through here, and then just kind of filling this up just a little bit. And then from here I'm actually going to just add a little bit of detail where we kind of smooth. Actually seems really harsh. So just lightly, again, just lightly go with the detail brush and just kind of follow that part line. And then back into this part line as well. We will be making adjustments with the hair, probably with a hairbrush again. And so from here, actually I'm just going to kind of smooth this out just a little bit. Just hit this with the smooth brush, and just a little bit with the smooth brush. And then from here, I'm actually going to go back to my Z remesher and say keep groups again, turn off adapt, and then also probably set this to about 1.5, which is 1500. And so I'll just hold down Shift and Z remesher. Actually, we don't want our symmetry activated on that because it will actually, it'll basically do a merge from right to left. And so with that in mind, I turn off activate symmetry and then hold down Shift and Z remesher. Alright. Not too bad. Polyframes or the polys the flow looks not too bad. You can see there's great in this area. The polyframes are not really what we really want, but it will do for now. Alright, and so from here, I'm actually going to select that face by holding down Alt. And so the head basically consists of our eyelids and basically the head, ears, nose, and neck. And so we want to combine with the neck, we want to combine all these objects into this face so we can just have one overall mesh. So again, from here, actually I'm gonna just keep it soloed so I can actually see what's going on with this facial, with the facial structure and whatnot. So for first thing I want to do is actually I'm going to take that geo and subdivide. So I'm going to hit just Control D, maybe 2, 3 times, and so we'll just get a nice smooth mesh. So currently when we subdivided that, we lose kind of the crease with the mouth, and that's okay. We're gonna actually we'll make some adjustments to that mouth once we get that back down when we down-res that. And so from here, I'm actually gonna just take this with where it's at currently, and we'll just go and delete lower. And from here, I'm going to hit the move button, and we're going to say remesh by union again. And actually just hit accept and turn on the polyframe so we can see what we got going on here. So it did keep our groups, which is good. We'll be able to make those adjustments when we do some more cleanup with this. And so I'm actually going to turn on my activate symmetry so I can keep this head still in symmetry mode. So with that, I'm going to actually grab that fill brush again, and with shift, and I'm going to just push my brush size down a little bit, and then I'm actually going to start going in here and just cleaning up this ear, and then also just a little bit of fill brush in here, and then shift and smooth. Let's shift and smooth this. So this air, and actually I want to keep that crease around here, and also actually I'm just going to hit this with a little smooth here, not too bad. And then also I'm going to actually just fill this area in down towards the bottom of the ear, and then smooth that out just a little bit, just so we can kind of get that. You could use clay buildup if you want, but just to connect that ear to the head, actually I'm just going to smooth this area down a little bit behind the ear, and smooth right here. And then the top of the cranium, we want this smooth down and out. We don't want that in there if we can help it. And actually just kind of fill this in with the fill brush just a little bit. And fill that, and then smooth that down, so we get a nice smooth mesh there. And then actually go into the nose and just smooth this down a little bit. We're just smoothing along those lines, and actually hitting this with the fill brush just a little bit, and smooth. So get that nice connection there, the nose, and actually hit this a little bit with the smooth brush. And also here, we want this to be more, not so much with the line, but just a little bit smooth, like a nice smooth connection. So I will just kind of push my brush down a little bit, and then hit that with the fill brush, and then smooth that out. So we get that nice crease on the nose. And I'm just also hitting this with the smooth brush. Just going to smooth this area out. And right here, I'm actually going to use the fill brush and just fill this area up a little bit better. Just fill this, and then also smooth it smooth it down a little bit. So I'm right here, just actually filling this area with the fill brush and then smoothing down. And smoothing. And then actually I'm going to take the move brush at this point and just, if you hold down Alt, well not Alt, actually with the move brush we can actually just kind of push this area up, and how we want to build those nostrils, and just kind of smooth that down. And I'm just pushing this area up, pushing, and then also smoothing right through here, so we get that nostril, so we can see under there. May make some adjustments with that nostril, but for now it'll work. Actually take off move and go back to the fill brush, and I'm just looking at this area right here, and then just hitting this with the smooth brush, also making my brush a little bigger. And then for the eyelids, I actually want these to be kind of as harsh as they are, not too bad, but I'm just lightly hitting this with the smooth brush, just a little bit, and then also underneath. Just, we keep that, we still want that nice crease there. When we do go to Z Remesh, it we might lose a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. And then so for the back of the head, I'm actually going to just continue to smooth this out. The hair and all that's going to basically fill this in, or cover this up, so we don't really see this so much, but just good practice just to make sure our mesh completely looks clean. So from here, I'm just hitting this with the fill brush, just kind of get rid of the seam here. So I'm just raising my brush up a little bit and then hitting this with smooth, and just fill and smooth. And just hitting this with a little bit of fill. Might be a little too much, but just smooth that out. If you find that your smooth brush isn't really smoothing how you want, you can just up that intensity. Just hold down that shift button and just bump up the intensity if you want it a little smoother. And then back of the neck, and a little bit of the fill brush. You can also use the clay buildup, which I'll show you with the clay buildup, and you can kind of fill that area with the clay buildup brush. Usually like to hit that with kind of almost like a bigger brush, just so you can connect it. And then just with the Z intensity, I'll actually just turn that up a little bit so it's a little smoother. And then just smooth that out. And also hit the neck down here with the smooth. And also just make sure that we're alright. So we're looking like the head is actually well connected. All the mesh looks not too bad. I'll just hit this with the smooth brush just a little bit. And then also, oops. Actually going to bump my brush down and then also hit this with the clay buildup just a little bit. And it's just smooth. So I find the clay buildup and the fill brush, they kind of do about the same. The clay buildup just looks a little bit more blockier looking. With that fill, it's just nice and smooth. I will probably take this detail brush and just drag along this jawline. Whoops. So here, might be a little much. And just hit that with the smooth brush. And actually just hit the back of the ear. Actually, I'm going to take the clay build-up brush and just kind of throw in some, just to connect that ear a little better in the back, and smooth this out. Just basically putting that area where our ear connects. Don't really like too much how that threw a lot in there, so I'm actually just smoothing this area out. And alright, so from here I'm actually going to take the move brush and just add a little bit of detail in this ear. And so for this I'm actually just lightly pushing and smoothing. I'm actually going to bump my smooth brush up a little bit here. And so with this we can take that detail brush and basically draw along the edge that we're going to make that into the ear piece here. And so with the clay buildup, actually if you hold down Alt, it'll push that area in. And so we want this area basically pushed in. And then we'll hit that with the smooth brush. And that looks alright. And then actually I'll hit that with the detail brush again, but this time I'm going to hold down Alt and just drag along this ridge. Oops. Going to hold down the Alt and just drag along this. That just brings that up. And from here I'll go back to the clay buildup and just build that, basically the earlobe area. And it's just kind of actually throw a little ball like in there, and then so actually I'm just taking the clay buildup and kind of building that area up a little bit, and then also smoothing down, and then Alt with the clay buildup. So I want this a little bit more, and then hitting that with the smooth brush. So the top part of the ear, just smooth. And if you want a little bit more detail, again, we can just grab that detail brush, hold down Alt, and lazy mouse is turned on, which actually should help. You just gotta go slow. Just follow that ridge how you want it. Just going back to the clay buildup, just kind of pushing this area and smooth. And I'm actually just going to push this down the brush size and just lightly hitting that and smooth. Ears don't look too bad. More little cartoon looking ear is kind of what we're looking for. Actually just smoothing this down a little bit. smoothing that down. All right. So with this as well, I just want to also take that detail brush again and just kind of hit this nose area. And then smooth that out just a little bit. And I'm just hitting, I'm not really hitting the line, I'm just hitting the mesh on the outside of that area. And I will take the fill brush and just kind of fill in this area right here. Just fill. And then hit that with smooth. All right. And that's gonna work for now. So if we look at our subtools and actually take that dynamic off, or not dynamic, but turn off the polyframe so we can see. And so with that head currently, I'm actually going to Z remesh this now and just see kind of what we get with that. And so with that in mind, we're going to go with our head. So the head is actually selected as the subtool. And then we go to our geometry tab. And then we're going to say keep groups. So we want our groups, turn off adapt. And then also going to hit this with the, probably put this one, let's try 2.5 just to see what we get with that. Hold down shift with the Z remesher. Likes to crunch up that, crunch the eye up pretty good. So with that, I'm actually going to just undo that. And I'm going to say, actually I'm going to bump this up to maybe 3K. And then just do a regular zero mesh. Actually turn off the polyframe, just kind of look and see, which are getting some really weird, some weird polys here. So I'm gonna just, actually I don't want to smooth that out quite yet. Not looking super in the eye department. So with the eyes,